Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through this box of pennies with you. Now I know I've got some wheat heads in here, I've got some others, but the main thing I'm looking for today is that 1982 Denver Mint penny with the small font on the date. So we'll see if I can find it. I would be terrifically surprised if I do. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mel, and I have this YouTube channel where I do all kinds of fun things. Well, I think it's fun, it's my life, and I just share my life with people. This is a true treasure hunt today, because I don't know what I'm going to find, but I'm definitely hoping for that 1982 penny. Now I know I'm going to be getting some wheat heads. Please like and subscribe if you don't mind. Most of my content is goat and duck related. We have a little farm across town where we have our animals. And that's why the channel is called Nana's Ranch. But I also do gardening, foraging, fun stuff. Okay, where am I going to put these pennies when I'm done looking at them? Let's see. First of all, where am I going to start? I guess I'll start with one of these penny rolls. Let me see if I can move my camera just a little bit so you guys can see a little more of what's going on with me. Let's see. So sorry. I'm always kind of a mess when it comes to the technology stuff. Getting things sorted. Okay, there we go. Don't need to have my earbuds in sight. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this roll, and I'm going to put the wheat head pennies in this little butterfly dish that I have here. Well, that one just fell down. Looking for a 1982 Denver Mint. That's not a wheat head. And I think it's, yeah, I think it's a 1974. You know what? I think I might need a better light. Shoot. I'll bring my light over. Pardon me while I adjust things here. So anyway, my channel is mostly about the ranch, gardening, little bit of foraging. I love to forage, especially in the spring and summer, and again in the fall. But I will be foraging pretty soon. I'll be tapping our maple trees and making maple syrup. So if you want to see that process happening, I'll try to do a live stream. It's a very slow, boring process, but it is actually pretty interesting because you take something that the tree gives you and you turn it into something terrifically delicious. And I'll be doing that. I've also made, gosh, I haven't dusted this lamp in forever. This is gross. Let me use my lovely sparkly sweater to fix a homemaking problem. All right. Anyway, I have some videos. Actually, I have a playlist you can see of me making shag bark hickory syrup. Larry, you're here. You were born on that day, in that year. Let me see, oh God, you know what? I still can't read it. Oh yeah, 1974. Okay, we don't, is that really your birth year, 74? Okay, 75, 75. This one feels older. 62 maybe? God, I need better eyeballs, y'all. This is not going well. 69, 73, looking for an 82. Another looks like either 60 or 69. 1960, that's my husband's birth year. Okay. 82, oh, you might be worth $18,000. It's 1974, 1976, 1975. Well, not all the 82 pennies are worth much. 71. Larry, you're too young to have the problems you have, my friend. 75. 69. This one looks even older, but it's a 72. Look at how shiny that one is compared to the other ones. Can you see it? I don't know if it's going to show. Takes me a minute to, I'm on a little bit of a delay, so I don't know. Can't really see it. Okay, well then we won't fuss about it. Oh, let's see. 75. 75. Guy, you know what? I want to find that $18,000 penny. 63. A lot of my friends were born in 63, 75. This could take me a couple of hours. Goodness gracious, I might have to do a couple of shows. 74, 75. Now, once you find 74, a date that's valuable, you have to find the mint. And the mint, of course, is that little letter underneath the date, 75. This looks like a D for Denver. Different mints printed out different coins. 64. A lot of my friends were born in 64 as well. Another 64. I was going to put all these pennies, 72, on a tabletop. We had a little camper and I wanted to make a tabletop. Your parents were born in 62. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. Call me Auntie Mel. 75. 66. That one's all beat up. I wonder if I can zoom in a little so we can see a little bit better. Let me see what I can do. I think maybe, let's see. I'm just gonna hold my hands here and see if that's visible. I guess you don't really need to see the whole bucket. Wheathead yet? Because I know we have Wheathead in here. 76, I think. He had, the person I got these from, 79, had probably already gone through these and put them in the sleeves because he'd already pulled out the Wheatheads. 75. Another 75. 76. Larry, your birth year was an interesting year for the penny. It's the year they changed from mostly copper to mostly zinc. 1975. 1975. I'm glad I didn't make the table. I was going to glue them to a piece of wood and then put resin over the top of them. Copper pennies are becoming more valuable, obviously, right? The price of copper is pretty amazing. 74. 76. I remember the bicentennial. That was fun. That was a fun year. Another 76. Totally different look. This one is aged, has more of a patina, and this one is still very shiny. So the guy that had these had probably already gone through this whole thing, so there won't be any Wheatheads here. But I'm pretty sure there are Wheatheads in the rest of it because I think I remember finding some before. I wasn't looking for a 1982 Denver penny with the small font on it at the time. I was just looking through them to find as many Wheatheads as I could so that I could put them upside down on the table so the Wheathead part would show. 75. Golly, did he do these so that they would all be like right around the same time? No, he was a very interesting man. I took care of him. 1974. That looks like a 75 and two 71s. I was his caregiver. He was 100% unable to take care of himself as far as food and even paying the bills. He needed help with that, taking his medication. He wasn't able to drive himself to the store, so I did all his driving. At first, I drove him to the store and he did the shopping, and then as he got weaker and he trusted me more. He let me go do the shopping. I had his debit card and I would just go to the store. I could find an 82 in here. So 82 is the year things fell apart, Larry. I'm sorry. I honestly don't know. You know what? No, it doesn't. It's the zinc is the main body of the pennies after that year, and then they just coated it with the copper so that it had that copper look to it. So the pennies look the same, but they weigh significantly less than a copper penny. So zinc is a lighter weight alloy, and I'm forgetting how much. I believe a full copper, 82 full copper penny, or not 100%, but you know, in the 90s, weighs 3 grams, 3.1 grams. And I think the zinc variety of the 82 weighs more in the 2 gram range. So you can actually tell if you hold 2 copper pennies in your hand from the different stamping, I guess, of those pennies, you'll notice a difference in the weight of the penny. But I have a gram scale that I can weigh them on, 75. It's never been used for nefarious reasons. 64, another great year, produced a lot of great people, loved my friends. It was, what was 64, the end of the boomers? 73, see, I'm a boomer. I will eventually put these all, looks like a 69, in what year they were printed in, 70. And then I'll refine my searches down even more to try to find some. 62, yay for my birth year. 75, there's a shiny. Can you tell how shiny that one is? Probably not, huh? Super shiny. I'm just trying to, it's hard for me. I've got such a delay on my video that I have a hard time seeing. There you go. Okay. Get used to looking at that for a really long time. This one was on the ground. It got run over a few times. You can tell when a penny's been run over. Somebody bent over and picked up this penny, and it's so beat up I really can't tell the year. Now the $18,800 1982 penny, 1975, was probably in near perfect condition, mint condition. 67, haven't seen a 67 yet, have I? I don't think so. This is a long story. So the guy, 69, I mean, as his caregiver, he had no living family, 1973. He had 2 horses, a dog, and a cat, and he was on about 7 acres, had a little ranch house, 66. And after a while, he asked if he could leave me his estate, 1971. And not knowing the laws and the legality of it, I said, are you sure you don't have any family? And he said, no. He said, I don't have any family. Everybody's dead. I'm divorced. I don't have any kids. Everybody's gone. It's like, okay. I should have contacted my attorney when he offered that, 1975, because honestly, it doesn't look good for a caregiver who has great control over a person's life, 1969, to inherit their estate. I think that just happened. There's a woman on trial right now for talking. She's a nurse, and she talked a woman into taking her own life, 1971, because the woman had cancer. Well, it turns out the woman did not have cancer, 1974. She was being taken care of by this nurse, apparently, 1975, for something else, but not cancer. So the nurse talked the woman into taking a fatal dose of insulin and ending her life. 1963. Well, the reason the nurse did that is coming out in trial. The prosecution asserts that the woman, the nurse rather, was due to inherit a $1-point-something million estate when this woman died, 1975. So that's why caregivers are not supposed to inherit people's estates. I didn't know the law, I do now. To make things even worse, 1971, when the man passed away, I was the one who found him. I went to his house every morning and made him breakfast, and he had passed away that morning. I called him on my way there. It took about 10 minutes to get there, 1975. By the time I got there, I think he had passed, because 1973, he didn't come out of his bedroom. I would call him, that would give him 10 minutes to get up, go to the bathroom, and come out into the living room. And he wasn't in the living room, 1972, when I got there. And his bedroom door was closed, as it usually was. So I went back, and I kind of knocked on the door after a few minutes, 1974, and called to him, and I just figured he was sleeping or he was in the bathroom having, his morning constitution, 1965. Then I went about my day, my morning. I started his breakfast. He always had 2 duck eggs and 1.5 pieces of bacon for breakfast, 1974. And a little bit of grits with butter, 1975. I had my father-in-law with me. He had dementia. He enjoyed going and talking to him because they were both Navy veterans. Turns out, I found out later, that the man I was taking care of actually had something called stolen valor, 1975. He was never in the military, but he claimed he was a Vietnam veteran from the day he was not. Anyway. Oh, what is that? 1955. Wow. Okay. Anyway, the coroner came to the house, and the sheriff's deputies came, and they cleared a bunch of firearms. The guy had weapons everywhere in the house. 1973. I had found a stack of weapons by the time they got there. I knew that those needed to be secured. 1969. So they took away a whole bunch of weapons, gave me a receipt. 1974. But the coroner is sitting there, and she says, "Do you know who inherits the estate?" And I said, "Unfortunately, me," because I knew that opened me up to an investigation. 1969 from Canada. Don't want that. And I wasn't real happy about it because I found a body, and I was the one who was going to inherit the entire estate. Hey, Gerald, thank you so much for that information. I appreciate that. Sweet Ong, hello. Thank you for being in the chat. Appreciate that too. Well, Larry, it turns out the man lied about more than just being in the Vietnam War. I mean, he had great stories about Vietnam, but it was all from the History Channel, 1969. He did take antipsychotic medication, so I'm going to say there's a possibility he was just whacked out of his mind. 1973. In fact, there were some days when I went to work with my .380 in my holster because I was afraid if I walked in, he was going to try to shoot me. It was kind of a contentious relationship, but we were close. 1973. 1976, another real shiny one. Wow. This one looks like it's shiny, but it's kind of weird looking. 1968. It's kind of a weird looking one. This one here. 1971. So the coroner took less than like 3 hours. Oh, I had found a photograph. I can't tell what the date is. There's some kind of an epoxy or something on that, maybe a glue. 1975. So I found a photograph, 1974, in one of his files of a man who looked just like him, but younger. And so I thought might be his son. So I told the coroner, I said, there could be a son that he didn't tell me about. Coroner took less than a couple of hours to find his son and his son's wife and their children and living siblings, 1970. So 1972. So needless to say, I contacted the son, or the son contacted me. It's been a few years now. And I said, "I am so sorry. I did not know that you existed. Your father told me that he didn't have any children." He said, "I'm not surprised." So he ended up, we got, I'm trying to think if I called my attorney. I probably contacted my attorney. Yes, I contacted my attorney. And my attorney advised me, sign the entire estate over to the son. A wheathead penny! 1944, pretty beat up, pretty worn out. Can't tell the mint without some kind of a magnifying device. So here's my wheathead penny collection. A wheathead! What do we have? 1948. Anyway, I signed the entire estate over to the son through the attorneys. His son, 64, was a really nice man. He volunteered with the Special Olympics for gymnastics, 1961. It's the year my brother was born. And his wife was a private investigator. Really nice, moral, kind people. Is that 1940? No, 1969. Okay. And the man did have 2 horses, which I was still taking care of, no charge to the estate, 1972. Twice a day I'd go over to the house, feed the cat, feed the horses. I ended up finding a home for the cat. The dog had passed away previous to the man dying, 64. So I did end up adopting the horses, and the son gave us 2 motorcycles, 1974, that were not valuable at all. Yeah, mine's a Smith & Wesson 380. It's a bodyguard, and it's illegal in California now, 1974, probably because the trigger works. California is so rude. 1972, gosh, if I find a 1982, you guys, I might pass out. 1973, and it might not even be worth anything. Well, it's worth a couple of pennies anyway. But, oh, this one doesn't even have a mint on it. This is a 1972 with no stamp for a mint. Is our coin guy still in here? Gerald, are you still in here? Can you tell me why would there not be a mint stamped on a penny? I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be super blurry. But all it has is the date with no stamp. Ah, I'm sorry. I'm terrible at this. That is so weird. Oh, you have a cheaper 380. Well, you know what? I like the size. I like the weight of my 380. 1969. We became friends with the family. 1962. Oh, that's mine. Yay. I might have like 10 1962s, 1972. Again, I'm going to go through these and I'm going to put them by year in bags, probably little Ziploc bags. 1972. SRS. Okay. Not familiar with that. 1971. Oh, this one's been, I don't know what, man. It's got some kind of a weird film on it. 1975. Denver. Oh, I can't tell. It's not an 82 though. It's like looks like a 5. Would a 59 be in here? Actually, I do know SRS. I think I've heard of it. I don't think we own any. 1973. I own a little American Arms 22 Magnum. Piece of crap. 1964. But I used to be a caregiver for an older woman, she was in her 80s, 1971. And it was on a 400-acre cattle ranch. It was just the 2 of us many nights. And there were ne'er-do-wells, 1976, wandering around on the ranch. And there were some guys who would just walk in the house when the other caregivers were there. When 2 of the caregivers were there, 1971, guys just walked in so high. And I would tuck that little American Arms in my brassiere so that it was close to me. The problem is the American Arms 22 Magnum, 1970 it looks like, wouldn't fire if it got too warm, 1961. I tried to use it to qualify for my concealed carry. This one you can't tell anything about it. It's completely corroded and in really bad shape. And it wouldn't fire after, it was like 100 and hell out at the range that day, 1969. And it stopped firing after, I think, 6 shots. And they let me qualify because those 6 shots were really good, but it was a bad little gun. So I sent it to American Arms and they tested it and said it was fine and sent it back to me. So I don't even use it. 1970, I should have just told them to keep it. It's a cute little gun, and I thought it might help me, but I would have had to empty the entire cylinder into someone just to slow them down. And if these guys were high on what I think they were on, 1968, again with no mint stamp. So what's the story? It could be an 8 or it could be a 5. I'm keeping those off to the side here, the ones that don't have a mint stamp on them. Hey, Mary. Oh, Philadelphia. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. 1971. I was hoping some coin people would come in and help me out with some of this stuff. My dad was a coin collector. He had an amazing collection of coins. 1972, he had some gold coins from way back. He had some stuff that had been pulled up from shipwrecks, 1971. And my mom married a con artist after my dad passed away, 1968. And that con artist, 1974, again, no stamp, so we're not going to keep those. Those aren't special. Philadelphia, I guess, didn't need a mint mark because they were the ones, huh? 1974. Anyway, my dad's coin collection disappeared. I think this is a 1969. I've got a bag of his silver dollars and silver half dollars that I'll be going through in another live stream. 1973. You know what, guys? There's no way I'm going to be able to get through very many of these today. 1961. It's just, I knew it was going to take time, but I hadn't opened this box in a long time. So when the estate was being figured out, 1973, I found this box in the office, and I asked the son if I could buy it from him. And we figured out there were $5 worth of pennies in here or so. I don't know. Maybe there's more. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there's like $8. Anyway, I gave them $5 for the box of pennies, and they took it because they didn't want to bag them, put them in rolls and take them to the bank. That was going to cost them more than they were worth. 1973. So I think I paid $5 for it. I might have paid 10. I remember 5. 1972. 71. He must have stopped collecting pennies in the 70s, you guys. That's funny. 1961 and 1971. I would still like to find more of the wheat head pennies. I think this is, oh no, I thought this maybe was a Canadian, but it's a 61. I don't know. It upside down, it looked more like a woman than a Lincoln. So I paid a few bucks for this box of pennies. Like I say, I was going to put it on a tabletop, but I'm glad I didn't. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Because I really don't know what I'm going to do with them. That's in the 60s, 62, I think, 79. I think that's a 68, 73. So the man was total wackadoodle. 71, unfortunately. 61, like I say, we adopted the horses, and then before we moved out of California, we had to find a place for them because one of them was 29 or 30, and the other one was around the same age. Actually, you can see Willie in a movie. He was in a movie in 2021. I think we shot the movie in 2020. It was during the COVID shutdown. An independent film called Lost Outlaw. And one of the red something or other gang was riding Willie. He's a chestnut with a white blaze, and I think he had white socks on his front hooves, but I don't remember exactly. He was 29 years old in that movie. I'm in the movie too, called Lost Outlaw, 1962, 1960 something. So when my mom finally divorced that monster that she married, who stole a lot of things from her, 63, another wheat head penny, kind of chewed up. Looks like it might have been on the road or on the sidewalk for a while. 1957, I think it looks like Denver. 58, another wheat head, okay? We cannot find my dad's coin collection, and it was worth many, many multiple thousands of dollars. I found some miscellaneous coins here and there, and I do have the bag of silver that I'll be going through in a live stream and just checking them out because I know some of them hold value. A lot of them probably are only worth what you can melt them down for. Am I right or am I wrong? Hello, music producer life. Happy to have you here. I'm also a fan of music, although I don't like listening to it. I like writing music. And these are all wheat heads. I'm just putting them in this little dish here in front of me. I'll check out the dates at another time. This little crystal butterfly dish, why is this one? Oh, that's the Canadian one, was in a lot that I got at the auction. Another wheat head. Wow, I'm in the wheat heads, you guys. Cool. Another wheat head. Yay. So I don't know if the silver's worth anything as a coin or if it's just like to collectors or if people are melting them down. I think we've probably got a little bit of both going on today. And I may go through the rest of this privately and see if I can find one of those or a few 82s. He may have stopped collecting pennies, like I said, in the 1970s. I don't know. So the guy I was taking care of, according to his son, he cut off all contact with the family when their son was diagnosed with autism. He had a lot of things going on with him. It wasn't just autism. He had a lot of physical ailments, and that's when he cut off contact with the family. Now, interestingly enough, he cut off contact with his brothers and sisters over an ugly coffee table when his mother passed away. That's a wheat head, okay. I think it's a 1930 something. So he had cut off all contact with his siblings, 1972, over a coffee table that he ended up with. I guess the mom wanted it to go to somebody else, 1971, but he wanted it. It was a huge, big, round, ugly coffee table. The whole time I took care of him, 1973, it was just covered in paperwork. And that coffee table, to him, was worth tossing his whole family in the trash. 1973. And then the daughter-in-law said while she was in the hospital with her son when he was real little, he was born with a lot of problems, not related to the autism, 1968, that she said he couldn't handle imperfection because he was going to teach my grandchildren how to ride horses, and he could have been teaching his own grandchildren how to ride horses. 1974. And that's what I said to her. I said, why didn't he focus on his own grandchildren? Why was he focused on mine? She said, probably because his had problems. 1970. It was just too much for me. It was too much. And I could see the autism perhaps in the family. There were some traits. 1968. But the man's entire life was a lie. It was really sad. I was really mad when I found out all that. 1972, because he had pulled the wool over my eyes for a couple of years. 1961. I didn't care about not having his estate at all. 1973. It was actually going to be a burden because Dave and I were planning on leaving the state. 1972, there's a shiny 72. We were planning on leaving the state anyway, selling all of our properties and moving, 1971. And his place was run down, needed a lot of work, 1972. Another wheat head. Wow, I'm liking the wheat heads a lot. I prefer the wheat heads. But when I found out that the 1982 was worth a bunch of money, I was like, okay, I'm going through that box. But I'm starting to think, there's not going to be anything in the 80s in this box. 1966. So whoever stole my dad's coin collection ended up with a lot of money, and it was probably her husband. 1973. Mary Fiera Musica. Hola. I know the price is going up. Yes. I was going to go through them. 1969 maybe. 1972. Larry, we're getting nowhere near your birthday, my friend. 1961. I'll have to send my brother a little container. I've got the little cardboard things you can put these in. I'll have to send him a bunch of 1961 pennies. 1973. He'll be happy. 1964. This is getting really, I got a lot of wheat heads in here, you guys. I love the wheat head pennies. Another one, I didn't even have to look at that one. You can tell by the patina. It's pretty amazing. 1972. Over the years, as the 1973, as the metals changed with time, it's amazing how different they are. 1970. 1973. So the Philadelphia Mint 72 does not have a stamp. 1970, at least not for those, huh? Let's see. That's not a wheat head. It's got that patina to it, close to it. It's a little off. 1960. Okay. That looks like a wheat head. Yeah, that's in the 40s. That's another wheat head. 73. Gosh. We've gotten up to 76, right? 74. 73. My goodness. My dad had a light he used to look at the coins with. I need to find it. 70. Actually, I don't have one. My husband might have one. His family did similar stuff. 70. That one has a really nice patina on it for 1970. I prefer the patina to the shiny. And I don't like modern pennies. I would love to find one of the World War II pennies, 69. Remember those? They were in really bad shape because the copper was being used for other things. This one must be a wheat head. Yes, indeed it is. 71. 73. Okay. So I'm sad that our government is not making them anymore, 73, but I understand it. Another 73, boom, boom, boom. Wheat head, guy, this little dish might not be big enough. 72. Another 1969. Nana Stacks, hello. Nana Stacks, I don't collect coins. I'm going through a penny collection. My dad collected coins. Yeah, that's a wheat head. And I don't have very much of his coin collection. What I have is a sack. I can go get it maybe 1965 and show you. I don't want to go through it on this live stream. I'll do another live stream, 1972, where I go through his silver. And I think I'll have a magnifier with me, 1960. I don't know all about the 73. This one's got some corrosion on it. I don't know from what, but it's, I don't know. These pennies aren't real high quality in the 70s, it seems like. Although they were copper. 1972. If I accidentally touch my face, I'm going to have a black spot on my face. 1972. If I was going to put these on the tabletop, when I was going to do that glue thing, I was going to clean them all and try to make it so that there were no fingerprints on them. You know, get them all cleaned off. I wonder if that would have ruined, well, pouring resin over them would have ruined them. I like the patina on that one. It's got some darkness to it. Okay, I'm gonna go get that bag of silver. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go through it right now. Oh, how funny. You know what, Nana? It's probably, the reason I came up in your feed is probably because some of my hashtags. But if you want, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell because I will be going through the bag of silver coins pretty soon. I'm just going to go get it. It's in a cabinet across the living room. Okay, I don't know if I found the bag of silver, but I found some paper money, so the silver bag might be in here. My dad collected all kinds of money. In fact, he gave me a $1 million bill from Zaire, which actually he gave me two, so I'm a multimillionaire from Zaire. Oh, here's the bag. Okay, cool. All right, I'll go through this in a different live stream, but this is my dad's money. This is separate from the pennies I'm going through, which belonged to my client that I eventually purchased from his estate. Pretty much penny for penny, which I kind of feel bad about now. I thought there were only like $5 worth, but I could just be remembering it wrong. So I'll look through a couple of these. So Nana, yeah, go ahead and hit me up as far as the subscribe, and then you can let your friends know I'm going to be here. Okay, this is interesting. This is one of those collectible coins you could buy. Back then, you would have bought it out of the back of a magazine, most likely, because, you know, my dad's been gone since 1997. So he would have purchased this out of a magazine, or I guess he could have gone to a coin store. You see, it's not really well protected. It's got a little bit of the tarnish coming on the edges. American Silver Eagle. He paid way more than $1 for this. That's okay. My dad was a collector. So here, this is the sack of coins right here. It's very heavy. It's a few pounds of silver. And this is what I'm looking at. They're very worn. They don't have a lot of quality to them. $18.99. He made me a belt buckle out of one that was 1862, because that was my, no, 1962 was my birth year. 1879. This one's in better shape. I should probably put these in something protective. 1807. There she is. So I'll be going through this in a different live stream, and maybe I'll find all those. I bought a whole bunch of coin protectors on, oh gosh, on Amazon, I think. What else does my dad have here? So I did end up with some of his coin collection, but not the big binder of coins where everything was labeled, how much he paid for it, and you know, this was all before eBay, and I think people paid a lot more for things back when you had to just buy them locally, and you really did not know what was available on the open market worldwide. You were kind of limited by what you could get locally. So he probably paid more for them than he would have today, although I don't know. Maybe they've gone up in value since he bought them. So here's a handful. This was just in a bag. And some of them are, looks like, I'm trying to keep them in my hand here. It looks like, come on, I just saw one that had a hole in it. Somebody might have turned it into, oh well, it disappeared. Oh, maybe there's one right there. This one has a hole in it where someone may have turned it into, what, a piece of jewelry? So they stamped a hole in it. And I don't know what this is. But this is his bag of junk coins. He used to drive all over to antique stores. And this is a half penny right here. And he would just go around and buy them. That was our Sunday morning drive, right? We'd go to antique stores and junk shops, and he would look for coins, and I would look for plastic horses. I don't know what that half penny is from. I need a magnifier. My eyes aren't what they used to be. This is something extremely foreign. I have no idea. It's got some stamping around the outside. Looks Asian. Oh gosh, I can see some wording. There's like a warrior's face. He does not look ethnic. He looks quite white. So maybe I'm wrong about the Asian thing, but the symbols around the outside look kind of Asian. Oh, no. It's just a Mexican coin, 1961. 1 peso from 1961. That's all. Okay, so that explains it. It's a Spaniard. Okay, cool. Spanish white guy. All right, I can say that because my husband is a Spanish white guy. George the Fifth, King, Emperor. One quarter, India, 1912. There's some fun stuff that needs to be cataloged and preserved. It shouldn't just be in a bag like I have it. So where did that bag go? There we go. I guess I can put my Canadian penny in this bag of miscellaneous coins. So my dad had quite a coin collection. Let's see, Morgans can have, what is a VAM? Nanostacks, yes, a peso. It's P-E-S-O, a Mexican peso. That's their money in Mexico. They do pesos, but they don't print up 1 peso anymore because it's similar to our penny, but even less value. So you can buy something for 100 pesos and that's almost no money at all. Another bag of miscellaneous coins. Looks like there's a modern penny in here as well. Wouldn't it be funny if it was a 1982? What is it, Dad? What is it? Oh, it's all corroded. In God We Trust, 1 cent. You know what? I need to check that out. It's corroded around the bottom. I can't read it. But if it's in this bag of my dad's stuff, it probably has some kind of value. And now I need my magnifier. Let me think, where's my magnifier? It's in my purse. Okay, guys. I'm going to, of course, I'm old. I'm 63. I carry a magnifier in my purse. I'll be right back. I've never used it, but I keep it in my purse just in case I have an eye emergency. From the VFW, it was my father-in-law's. He is a Korean War veteran. Let's see, what does it say? 19, oh gosh, I can't read it. It's so corroded. I don't know. I'm going to have to take a picture of it and blow it up. I think that's what I'll have to do with my phone. I can't imagine that my dad would have kept a coin that had no value. That just doesn't seem like him. But it's super corroded. What have we got? Uganda, of course. My dad worked in Uganda, so he's got 10 of the Bank of Uganda, 10 shillings, because Uganda was a British colony. So there we go. Picked that up when he was in Uganda. I had a bunch of Rwandan money from when I was in Rwanda. This is 1,000, 1 day something or other. And it looks like 1989, but I can't imagine that my dad would have had a 1989 coin, but he did. From where? Mexico. Oh, he worked in Mexico too, so yeah, that makes sense. He has a Mexican coin from 1989. Oh, more pennies. Okay, let's see what other pennies my dad had. U.S. pennies anyway. What have we got here? Coin people are probably just dying as I'm scraping these across each other. No, this is just a 1978. But I'm going to keep that separate. I have no idea why my dad had it in here. It might have just been in his pocket when he... I don't know. I have no idea. But there we go. Ooh, Elizabeth II. Wasn't she a beautiful lady? Rest in peace. She was so pretty. And this is from... It says new pence. It's a 2. And it just says Elizabeth. All right, where's my magnifier? Here we go. DGREGFD 1979. I don't know, guys. Dad had it, and he didn't work in England, but this may be something he got in Uganda, maybe? Or when he was staying over in London, because you had to fly through Heathrow. 1979, $1. Susan B. Anthony coin. I would say that these pennies have some kind of significance because my dad had them. So I'm going to, like I said, take a picture of that one, blow it up, try to see what the date is on it. Oh, I can see a little bit with it at this angle. Let's see, I feel so scattered right now. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wish I could take that corrosion off without ruining the penny, but I don't know if I could. I don't know. I'll just keep it separate, take a picture of it, blow it up, see what I find. Anyway, they have double dies and die flashes. Ancient biblical coins. My dad had some really old coins in his collection that got stolen that I'm pretty sure my mom's con artist husband stole. Or his brother. They were schemers. In fact, they were called the Schemer twins. She married poorly her second time around. Do not marry poorly, ladies and gentlemen. She really made a big mistake with that one. Let's see. But she did have those silver coins over there that she was able to keep from him. And this box of stuff that I just, I'm gonna try, well, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to get those up right now. This is what I purchased. I purchased these cardboard things, not this one, but I purchased some to put some of the coins in. This is a Liberty dime, I think, 1941. Yeah, Liberty dime. Here's a nickel, a buffalo nickel with the Indian head on the back. 1901. Oh, this was from Mom for Bill, Easter 1976. It's a 50-cent piece from 1901. What does it say? United States cents, but it has a V for 5. Is it 0.05? No, it says 0.50. It's 0.0. It's 5 cents from 1901. It's like, I don't know. Maybe a coin nerd will be able to tell me what that is. Then Dad had all these envelopes, and there's nothing in many of them. Those 3 are empty. This one says it's a 1920 Buffalo. My dad was pretty serious about his coin collection. That's why it makes me so sad that that con artist got it, because he just sold it for whatever he was doing. I don't know. He tended to buy wives from the Philippines. Yeah, Buffalo nickel. I don't see a year on that one. And I don't think it's my eyes. I think my dad didn't know either. Let's see. Oh, 1928. What did he guess? 1920. Dad, you were wrong. That's a 1928. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Oh no, help, help. Oh, it's way over there. Okay, well, I'll change that. Here's a 1920 Buffalo nickel. Don't need to look at that. We know what that is. Portuguese one, that's empty. Empty. Okay. Blanks and S pennies from 1947. What does that mean, blanks? These are wheat heads. I don't see that they're blank. Maybe the year? No, 1937. Yeah, they've got dates on them. Anyway, I'll put them back in here, and I'll try to figure out what's going on with those. Oh, that was a mercury. Really? Yeah, mercury nickel. Okay, that makes sense. That I recognize that term, mercury nickel, for sure. Oh, turkey. This is gold. This is absolutely a gold coin. It's 25 piasters. I don't know what that means, but that is definitely a gold coin. And my dad had many, many dozens of these in his coin collection that was stolen. 1936 Liberty. There we go. 1 Liberty $50. Not sure why this one is separate from the sack sack that's over there, but I think maybe Dad bought that bag of coins at one location, and so he kept them all together. What have we got here, Dad? 1957 blank pennies. What does that mean, blank pennies? Maybe because they don't have a stamp on them, so they're from Philadelphia? They don't have a mint, I guess. Interesting. I'll have to look those up. I don't know. Good morning, Junior. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. I'm just going through a bunch of coins. I'm getting really dirty fingers going through my dad's coin collection. Okay, I got a big mess here. I'll show you another thing Dad had. These are all from Philadelphia. We've got a penny, a nickel, a dime, quarter, and a $50, and it's 1963, and these are all completely sealed, so there is no corrosion on them. Dad bought that somewhere. It says Philadelphia Mint. There we go. Good job, Dad. Good job. Oh, so many pennies. You guys, my mom and dad, when they were first married, they were so poor. I think I just found another bag of silver, y'all. I just found another bag of silver. It's a good thing the neighbors can't see what I'm doing. I've got a lot of crackheads in the neighborhood. Oh, gosh, but I don't want to go through the silver right now. I'm going to do that in a different live stream. I will probably... Oh, there's another bag of silver in here, you guys. You definitely want to hit the bell for notifications. Oh no, this isn't all silver. This is all miscellaneous pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. I'm probably going to find some silver in here, but it isn't a whole bag of silver. But you're going to want to come back because I'm going to do a live stream where I take a look at my dad's paper money that he had. Oh, here's my $1 million bill. I believe, I've looked at these and I believe every one of these is a fake. They're just a little too perfectly imperfect, if you know what I mean. It says Bank of Chattanooga. I don't believe that. Printed on one side. This would have been during or around the war, right? 1863. This one says 1862. State of Florida, $1. I just think these are fake. I don't know. Maybe a money person can help me with that, but they just feel fake. They feel too, for one thing, they've never been in a wallet. They've never been folded. And it just seems strange to me that people would carry money around and it would have never been folded or put in a wallet. If you did fold it, it would break because this is actually paper. It's not fabric like our dollar bills are. It's not, it doesn't have cotton in it. It's probably just some kind of weird, unless they were just printing off funky money. This one's 1840, supposedly. I don't believe it. I think it's fake money. It's $1,000 from the Bank of the United States. Yeah, I just, I think that's just something Dad bought. Can't believe that it was real. Confederate States of America has a stamp on it, but the stamp is the same ink as the bill. It's not separate, so it was all printed at the same time. And I would think if there was a stamp on here for the bill number, that it would be separate. You can tell it's just kind of all the same thing. So I think that's fake as well. Supposedly 500, whether that's $500 or 500 pennies, I really don't know. Another 1,000. Now this one looks like it might have been actually written on with a ink pen, like a fountain pen, like there, but I don't know. Bank of United States, 1,000. See, there's no such thing as $1,000 bill. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I think somebody was being facetious with this. Bank of Louisiana, $100. That's $100 bill is easy to believe, but I think these are all fake. This one has a back on it. State of Alabama, $100. I don't believe it. And I can't prove it, but I just feel like that's fake. And let's see, where was the other one that had a back on it? The Bank of this one here also, Alabama, Louisiana. I just feel like these are totally fake. He might have bought these at like a fair or something like that. I don't know. I feel like that's fake. But here's my $1 million bill from Zaire. Zaire, this is the dictator. He was a completely horrible person, absolutely horrible person. My dad brought home two $1 million bills, and well, he probably brought home a lot more than that. He gave me two of them, and he said, "Here, now you know you're a millionaire." And I said, "Oh, that's awesome." He goes, "By the way, they're worth about $7 each." So I guess if I went out to buy bread and milk and eggs, I would have to spend $1 million in Zaire. So that's the money that's kind of silly, and then this is the money that probably has values. Oh, there's another Zaire $1 million. Gosh, no, that's a 50,000. Is that 50,000? So we go from 50,000 to $1 million. That's not great, Dad. I mean, 500,000, sure, but 50,000? Look how cool these are. They're so beautiful. And Zaire does not exist. I'll just put this one in. Actually, I don't want that one. I'm going to put the two bills from Zaire together in here. I know I used to have some silver dollar bills with the silver through them. I don't know where those are. What is this? December 1st, 1918. Stat Alfred Lean, Mark 5, 5 Mark. I would say we're talking Germany or Austria. Hanover. Okay. What is it? It says Uber. I don't think this will get you a ride on an Uber. but I suppose you could try. Yours feels fake, but it's real? Really, Nana? Gerald, are you serious? Those are real? Oh gosh, well, a lot I know. These are real. So these bills right here. Now these two, I believe could be just because they have a back on them. But what about the ones that don't have a back on them? And they've never been folded. Wouldn't people have carried these? Did they all have big wallets, like a checkbook register thing where everything was slipped in, or did they have folding wallets? I don't know. These were also at some point pinned up on a cork board or something. You can see all the pin marks in that one. Maybe you can't. I'm sorry. Maybe you can't see them. There are pin marks in here as well. Well, if they're real, call me pleasantly surprised. I would be thrilled if these were real, because everything here is going to be at some point sold to help pay for my mother's continued care. So that would be awesome. If I've got some value in this, I would be very happy, because my mom needs money more than she needs coins and bills. I mean, she needs real money she can spend on her care more than she needs the other. So that's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you. Okay, Nana, yours has a back. All right, so the two that have backs on them may be real. The Chattanooga, no, Alabama and, come on, help me out here. Was it Louisiana? Louisiana and Alabama. And they also make more sense because they're 100. It makes more sense that they would be 100 as opposed to 1,000. I can't imagine a $1,000 bill. Maybe a 1,000 penny bill. But I don't know, maybe there was no value at the time during the war. I have no idea. There's more stuff in this box, y'all. Definitely hit that notification bell and check out what my dad had too. He's got these for putting the dollars in. I just was I'm on YouTube a lot. I just had my earbud in listening to different channels. And there was a guy talking about going to the bank and buying their half dollars and dollars. Like if the cashier says that he or she has a whole bunch of dollars and half dollars, just buy them. Because you're buying them, there's, you know, a 50-cent piece is a 50-cent piece. And it may not be worth more, but you might get silver in that. So they're talking about definitely if you want to have fun. And that's what my parents did when they were first married. I think I started telling this story earlier. They were very poor back in the day, you know, 1960, 1961. So they didn't have a lot of money for entertainment. They would go to the bank and they would buy rolls of pennies. And then they would go home and they would sit at their little table in their tiny dining room in their tiny apartment. And they would take out all the wheat head pennies and separate them. And then they would take the rolls, you know, filling up the rolls, obviously, at 50 cents a roll, back to the bank of the regular pennies and trade those for more rolls. And they would go through those. So that's what they did on their Friday and Saturday night when their friends who were still single were out partying and being ridiculous. They were sitting at home going through penny rolls, trying to find these guys. Wheat heads. And eventually maybe Dad would have started looking for the 1984s, but he passed away in 1997, possibly before the 84s became valuable, although maybe I'll find out that this corroded one is an 84 that he had kept off to the side. I've got to definitely take a picture of that. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this live stream because it's been going on for a really long time. And I'm going to be setting up more live streams to go through, probably going through all the wheat head pennies that I find in this box here. And I'll just do the dates on those. And then I'll go through some of these boxes of bags of miscellaneous coins. And for sure, I'm going to go through all the silver. I've got a bunch of Morgans and I don't know what all else I have over there. And I'll go through those bills and we'll see if somebody knows maybe what some of their value is. Thank you so much for helping me out with some of that, Nana Stacks. I really do appreciate it. Let's see, what do we have here? Blue Ridge Silver Hood is super smart and buys collections. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Da, 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 da. So Gerald, you're saying that, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Good information. Well, I wasn't going to throw them away for sure, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, so I'll look into them. I used to have a friend. We worked together back in the 1980s, and we all lived on the same property. She lived in the main house, and I lived in the carriage house that had been converted to a one-bedroom apartment. And she and the landlord used to go to garage sales together. She didn't have a car, so he would drive her. And she bought a mirror at a garage sale, and he made fun of her for paying, $2 or $3 for that mirror. And when she took it home, she noticed there was a lump. Some mirrors over time, the wood shrinks, and so the mirror gets a little bit wobbly. So you'll stuff paper down in there so that it doesn't wobble. Well, someone had stuffed paper down in there, and she found $1,500 in authentic. Oh gosh, help me out here. I'm gonna get on camera. I wasn't planning on being on camera today. I don't know how zoomed in am I. That could be scary. I've got to see if I need to zoom out a little bit because that could be crazy. She found, I'm just watching. Okay. I don't want to be too scary, you guys. There we go. There was $1,500 in rolled up Confederate money stuffed between the mirror and the staples that were holding the mirror in place, or wedges, whatever it was. The mirror was, well over 100 years old. And the landlord was making fun of her for buying the mirror. She liked it. It was an antique. She thought it was cool. Then she got it home and looked at it. And someone bought those bills from her at face value. I think there were, actually, you know what? One was $1,000 because she had two bills rolled up in there, $1,000 and $500. And someone paid her $1,500 for the two bills. So actually, now that I think about it, yeah. He told her they were fake. That's fake. That's crap. And she took them to the local coin shop or pawn shop, and they gave her $1 for $1. I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy. I'm just looking over at my comments on here. I've got my computer in front of me, just so you know. Kind of weird. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Silver Hound. Oh yeah, I actually read it as Silver Hound. I didn't read it as Silver Hound. So I think Silver Hound. Yeah, she was excited about that because she was living paycheck to paycheck just like I was, and that $1,500 made a big difference in her life for a short period of time. That was really nice. It was the what did I say? 80s. It was 1980. 89. Yeah, it was 1989. Nice to meet you, Nana. Thank you so much. Most of my content is related to the farm and drag racing, which seems kind of weird, but my husband is a chaplain with 2 drag racing series, the American Motorcycle Racing Association and International Hot Rod Association. So he's a chaplain with both of those. So I end up going around. I did become an assistant to him officially with one of the organizations, and I am required to attend at least 3 races a year, which I attend 10 or 12 races a year already, so that won't be hard to do. But I also record at the drag races, and it's mostly motorcycle drag races. You do render. I render tallow. We have animals that sometimes we have to butcher, and I take the fat and I render it into tallow. So I gotcha. I love cooking with it. I don't do lard because we don't have pigs, so I don't do lard. But I do, depending on what we've got. Like we had a very old arthritic goat that we had to put down last year, and then we had an old sheep that was losing her teeth, and we had to put her down last year. So I'm rendering those 2 and turning them into lard. We're talking about possibly raising hog. My husband wants to raise like 2 a year, but we have 65 acres of forest, and I understand you can run a lot of hogs per acre. I don't know how much money we can make around here. We're in Northeast Tennessee. It's kind of a depressed area. Southwest Virginia, Northwest North Carolina, Southeast Kentucky. You know, it's a very poor area of the country. But people like grass-raised hog, forest-raised hog. So we'll see. Maybe we'll run our own for a year and see how they taste. And if it's good quality and people say, ooh, maybe we'll raise a few more. I don't know that I want to have a sow and a boar and actually do the breeding, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I can do AI, which is artificial insemination. For those of you who don't know, it's not the other. Not artificial intelligence, but might do AI on a sow. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, nice chatting, you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I will be back to do more coin. And what did you call it? You said you don't know about currency. That's the word, currency. See, I'm not a money person. But this will all have to be sold for my mom's care later. And I'll be learning a lot in the process of getting things ready to sell for her care. Bye, guys. Ooh, my knees just cracked. Did you hear that? That was crazy.